Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Before we start, I just want to mention I have some new products launched on my Teespring store. The link will be in the description. If you guys haven't seen, this is a great way to express your love for precious metals in a fashionable way, and it's also pretty cheap stuff. I designed it all myself. But we see the most famous got silver shirt, the highly important question to ask people around you. We also have other stuff like the gold buffaloes, the I Heart Silver, but these are the new products that were released today. And if you want to check it out, it's the dollar with the skull and crossbones, obviously representing the collapse of the dollar. But we also have the hoodie version as well, which you guys can see right here. And I just think it looks really cool. I like the placement of it over the pocket, and I like this colorway as well. So if you guys want to check that out, the link will be in the description. I also have some other stuff that I released today as well, but these are my favorites. I designed all this myself. It's a great way to support my channel, so thank you. Now, a lot of people think $50 silver is out of the question. It's insanely too high, and that will never happen. But the topic of this video is really going to bring the reality of how close to it we really are. Now, I do want to mention that not even 10 years ago, in 2011, silver was $50. In the last 30 years, silver's been $50 twice. So in the next 5 years, silver easily could become in that $50 ballpark again. Why is this? Well, let's go back to 2011 when silver was $50. We had the recession looming. We had stock market volatility driving people into the world of precious metals as a safe haven asset, and things were nowhere near as severe as they are now. So just looking at that alone could really show you that silver is on the brink of something much larger. And you also have to remember, when prices start rising, that's when more momentum gains, that's when people start talking about it more, that's when prices pick up, and we have new circumstances on the fence that will drive prices even higher than this, because there's much higher consequences on the line right now than there was in 2011. Now, obviously, we had, the Y2K situation. We had a lot of terrible things happening, starting off from, September 11th and the beginning of it all. But you also have to remember this. Supply and demand for silver right now is at all-time lows. Supply is extremely, extremely low, diminishing, abandoning silver mines. But the demand is picking up as silver is used more and more in the everyday world. So once this runs out, once the supply cannot meet the demand, which we're already digging into our reserves right now, we're finally starting to see some actual outcomes of it. The consumers are going to become the producers. The ones that have the power, that have the silver, are going to be able to set the prices. Now, even though silver is going to be at this price range sooner than later, I don't want to mislead you guys and give false hope. I don't want to say that silver is going to be $500 by 2025, because that's unrealistic. The price could get in the $25 range ending the year, and then we could see $30, $40, $50 range over the next, 5-6 years, which isn't that unlikely. I mean, the possibility of it isn't crazy to say. Now, there's also a chance it could stay in the mid-20s as well. But the whole point is, you have to start realizing that things are coming to an end, and silver's time is coming. Silver's time is definitely, it's a ticking time bomb. And if you can go forwards in the future, let's say you could go 10 years in the future from now and look back on these times, it would be blatantly obvious that silver is ready to explode. But right now, people, they're so emotionally attached, and they're listening to every single piece of information, especially from some bad news sources, that they're becoming desensitized. You don't want to become desensitized to a lower price range, because that's going to heavily affect the way you invest your money. Now, if I could tell you that silver for sure would be $50 in 5 years, then I would, but I can't. I have to come from an educated perspective. I'm not a financial expert, but I am definitely buying silver right now on the cheaper side to get the best results possible because I know it's worth much more than this. And that really is what it comes down to. I know for a fact that silver is worth much more than it is right now. It's extremely undervalued. Gold, on the other hand, it's almost at its natural price range. For what gold is used for and how it's used, it's already pretty expensive, but silver is not. Silver is extremely undervalued to extents that I can't even fathom that prices are still this low. I can't even understand how the gold to silver ratio is still in the mid 80s when it only comes out of the ground 8 to 1. And historically the ratio was 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold in biblical times, in Egyptian times. And actually before that, 1 part silver equaled 1 part gold. Silver was just as valuable as gold. 1 ounce of silver would get you 1 ounce of gold. It wasn't until nowadays that we built this stigma, this stereotype that gold is the royal metal. So I don't think that things could or should be much different on gold's side, but for silver, obviously things need to change sooner than later. Now, when these people talk about silver's price, they always try to undermine it, no pun intended. They try to make it sound like, oh yeah, silver's going up a little bit, but it's going to crash again, or yeah, silver's just a market for the collectors, or something. They try to make you think that silver doesn't have potential while they're buying up all the silver. Just like JP Morgan. The same things, they're manipulating markets. They call Bitcoin a scam, but then behind the scenes, they're buying millions of dollars of Bitcoin once they shot the price down. Or how they got caught with millions of dollars in gold bars, misprinted gold bars that were sold on the black market. Or how they were, Merrill Lynch and JP Morgan were caught manipulating the exchanges, the precious metals exchanges, placing false buy orders. And so are you going to believe these crooked people, these criminals that are doing this? And by the way, they actually, 3 of their employees are actually, they got arrested in actual, it's not, this isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't some, get on your tinfoil hat. Like, this actually happened. These people actually were doing this stuff. And they still are. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people doing it as well. And that also brings the question, is gold and silver in a bubble? Is silver in a bubble and that's why prices aren't exploding? Well, regardless of the bubble or not, the bubble has to pop sooner than later. And why is this? Well, because regardless of who's trying to hold prices to what extent, when the supply runs out and the demand is booming, no bubble is going to be able to get to protect, or no company, no amount of money is going to be able to protect that. The consumers will be turning into the producers. The ones that have the silver are going to have all the power. And it's as simple as that. It's just, which side of the fence are you going to be on? Are you going to be the ones buying silver at $50? Or are you going to be the ones selling your silver at $50? Hopefully you guys are the ones selling your silver at $50 because you were buying early, because you've recognized the obvious signs, the details. I mean, let's go back to 2011 again. When silver was $50, I was reading some articles from around that time era, and most people thought it was going to keep going higher. So a lot of people held off, didn't sell at all, and actually were still buying it. And that's the thing, is once prices go higher, more people actually tend to be buying it at that point than selling it. You would think that most people would sell their silver at $50, but actually it's the opposite. No one's really selling it at that price. Most people are buying it because they think it's going to go higher. So you do need to understand and how to accurately, tell when corrections are happening. When silver was $19.50 a couple months ago, I was mentioning that there's going to be a correction soon, because there has to be. It's not natural for a price to just keep going up, up, up. That's usually that's a huge indicator that there's going to be a huge crash happening. And you don't want that. You want it to be, gradually going up, maybe a dip or a sell-off, then gradually going up, maybe some dips and sell-offs. That's the thing, is most people don't have the patience to go through that type of market, and precious metals isn't for you. And I say precious metals is for everyone, but if you're extremely impatient, then maybe stocks or crypto is another market for you, because you have to have patience in this market. You have to understand that you're preserving your money, you're putting it away in a time capsule as the dollar deflates, and as you can, sit around, putting your hard-earned money into something that actually holds its value over time, and then it's more of a futuristic type of investment. If you don't understand that, you're going to get burnt, and I hope you guys do not do that, because precious metals can be extremely profitable, but also can be extremely detrimental if you aren't investing properly. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the best way to support my channel is to go buy some of my merchandise. You know, I try to branch out and make things that people can wear and feel good about it, but also express your love for precious metals. So I do spend a lot of time designing this stuff, thinking of, you know, the placement of it, which colorways. You know, I try to make stuff like the coffee mugs, like the I Heart Silver coffee mug, the Gold Buffalo coffee mug. I'm trying to really do a lot to allow you guys to have a diverse selection, but also for affordable, you know, affordable price, because you really can't buy stuff like this anywhere online. So I'm trying to make a store where you can actually wear and express your love for precious metals in a fashionable but also cheap way as well. So I do hope you guys pick out a shirt or two. If you do, you can email me. You know, I'd love to see, you know, see what it looks like on you. I would love to see you guys actually supporting my channel. It would mean a lot. I mean, if you don't want to, then it's perfectly fine. Just watching my videos is definitely more than enough support, but it would be cool to see you guys check out some of my merch and purchase it. I would love to see you guys do that. Anyways, though, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe, because I do post daily videos. I'm curious where you guys think silver is going to be in 5 years from now. I definitely think it's going to be on the higher end. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.